Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now October 9th of 2023, and given that Disney is in a very complex scenario right now, between the Disney stock hitting a decade low, the ongoing box office failures, one after the other, of course we have the Marvels upcoming, as well as the Snow White live-action remake that Disney has to deal with, and among other issues, right? We know that Bob Iger has been doing a terrible job, most certainly throughout all of 2023, that will continue to bleed into 2024. Now, one thing about this particular scenario with actress Rachel Zegler and her blacklisting in Hollywood just got a lot more serious as it is. Let's discuss. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Rachel Zegler is that we know that her viral interviews that resurfaced some months ago, that were actually from a year and a half ago, really, wreaked havoc over at Disney. It destroyed whatever image that they had left for them to salvage that is now completely tarnished, and that's exactly why they dropped her from all those various roles within Disney that she was supposed to obtain. One of the biggest ones was the Pirates of the Caribbean reboot, but it gets a lot worse than that. This has to do with multiple studios within the Hollywood bubble, and specifically more projects that Zegler was supposed to obtain before her blacklisting throughout Hollywood. Now let's get down to the specifics, because this is where things get very much complex and gets even serious for Rachel Zegler's situation. Now, on top of all of this, we know that given that Snow White 24 is going through serious revisions by Disney and re-edits by director Mark Webb and the editors, one major development has to do with actress Rachel Zegler. This crucial update has to do with new revelations revolving around her blacklisting in Hollywood. As it turns out, Rachel Zegler was locked in for a role via Universal Studios for the new movie by Universal, Wicked, which will be divided up into parts. Though Zegler was not locked in for the 2024 film due to scheduling conflicts with Snow White, Rachel was signed on for the role of Wicked Part 2 internally for 2025 that Universal completely dropped her from after learning internally of what Disney did to her after she damaged the rest of Disney's image via those interviews that actually took place on the internet that went viral. Now, Wicked, which by the way is an alternate look at The Wizard of Oz, was aimed to include Zegler as one of the lead roles in Part 2. Now, must I say this, guys? I don't think it's just Disney that is very much a flawed Hollywood studio, but I think that there's a lot of other studios in Hollywood that we can say are very much hit and miss. Universal may have, hit a very good mark with the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and they are going to be making this Nintendo-verse, if you will. Now, we know that this is going to be the new Hollywood trend. We're going to be having a lot of video game movies coming out and about, and that's exactly where we're going to get in just a second. This is going to be like the new thing instead of superhero films by Marvel/Disney, by DC, stuff like that. These are really going to begin to take over throughout the next couple of years. Now, what's interesting about this is the fact that Universal Studios, I don't know if you knew this, but they are going to have a Wicked Part 1 and Part 2 for 2024 and 2025 so far. Zegler was attached, reportedly, to the second part as one of the main characters. And you know what? I'm not too surprised, and we're going to be digging deeper into that project and exactly what Universal is doing with Wicked Part 1 and Part 2. I think I can already tell it's going to be trash. We'll have to wait and see as this thing evolves over time, and for a trailer to release online to really judge it. Now, beyond all of this is where matters get even more serious for Rachel Zegler. We already know that multiple Hollywood studios have already dropped her, including Lionsgate, who is affiliated with the Hunger Games prequel. They want nothing to do with her anymore. But this is where things get very interesting, and it does involve Warner Brothers. Alright, so let's get into this now. Now, as far as Universal goes, she lost this role and has been completely excluded not just from Universal, but also from WB entirely, and was also in deep conversations of joining the Minecraft movie with actor Jason Momoa as one of the top actresses in the film for 2025 as well. Zegler reportedly has strong connections via her agent and manager with many of those associated with WB and Universal, as it turns out, which may relate to how she was getting these roles left and right. WB also dropped Zegler entirely from getting any further acting gigs or the opportunity to have conversations of obtaining future roles with them. Now, look, I mean, Universal and WB, they also have hit and misses, right? We know that Hollywood is turning the tide at a snail's pace, and I don't think that things are going to normalize within 2, 3, 4 years. I think it's going to take at least a decade to turn all this woke nonsense around and to just get pure entertainment in a consistent flow of, satisfied customers that can actually enjoy these things in the theaters and on streaming. Now, Zegler's manager and agent had a goal to make her the next big thing in Hollywood, as big as Jenna Ortega and many others like Zendaya, which was something that studios were going for in the beginning until the whole Snow White drama began to unfold. Universal is now looking to get a new actress to play a major role in the Wicked Part 2 film for 2025 to replace Zegler's spot by the unnamed character. Alright, now, with that being said, other studios have also dropped her, such as DreamWorks and Paramount, as well as Lionsgate, who worked with her for the Hunger Games prequel. The most revealing aspects of this is how Universal and WB were locking her in for these massive roles of what are aimed to be movies with wide budgets. Now look, I don't know why Hollywood is on this obsessive trend of making these movies big budget movies when they don't need to be. And I always like to bring up a great example. Look at the movie The Creator by Gareth Edwards, alright? The creator of Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, the director, if you will. And I think that what he did there is showing that we can actually have a movie worth $80-some million and it can look fantastic. There's no reason for movies like Snow White, for The Little Mermaid, to be hundreds of millions of dollars getting poured into the budget of these films that are just completely unnecessary. Check out the trailer for The Creator, and you will be mind blown at exactly how it was only 80-some million for the budget. And I think that's incredible. So again, I mean, I'm not surprised that Universal was actually getting Rachel Zegler for Wicked Part 2. It seems like it's the right role for her. It seems like something that she would want. And I'm not all too shocked either about the Minecraft movie by WB trying to get Zegler in there as well, and how they want nothing to do with her at all after the whole Snow White fiasco. Again, I mean, these movies, I think, are going to be interesting as far as the Minecraft movie goes. I think that might be successful. I don't think that Wicked Part 1 and Part 2 will really lift or launch. It really depends. I think that at the end of the day, it may very well be something very cringy, something as bad as the movie Cats. It's very possible. We'll have to wait and see how that performs, and once the trailer drops to really truly judge it. I like to make that clear to you guys. But overall, this just goes to show you how serious Zegler's position really is right now as an actress in Hollywood and as far as her career goes. So anyway, guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
Night to moon.